Well, hello, happy Rocker School Week. My name is Katie Mullins. I'm so excited to be sharing with you how you can enliven your lessons with music this week. So I'm going to share two strategies. The first strategy is to spice up any review you're doing over any content you're covering by having your students decipher a mystery song. Now, as with everything, I think it's all about the energy you bring to it. So when I did this with my class, I donned my favorite sparkly jacket. I took on the persona of Susie Rockstar for the day, and I looped with my kids this year. They still regularly ask me when Susie Rockstar is returning. So costumes are highly encouraged. The setup for this activity is really simple. You're going to create a multiple choice review, except instead of the typical A, B, C, D answers, the answers will correspond with notes on a piano, and these notes will form a song. There's a lot of ways you can do this. I'm going to share how I did with my class. I had them in 5 groups, and each group, the answers actually formed a different song. This is nice because on the one hand, you could differentiate the questions, or you could also just change the letter answers to correspond to the different songs, if that makes sense. So I like to use popular songs because I think it amps up the engagement factor, but I will say that when they're trying to play a song on a virtual keyboard and they don't know the rhythm of the notes, it might be a little tricky for them to figure out of all the songs in the world, what song is this? So what I recommend is play a snippet of the 5 possible songs in the beginning to get them excited, to get them thinking, okay, our answers are going to be one of these songs. We have to figure out which one. If you really want to challenge them, you don't have to do that, but that would be my advice. So this is an example of a recording sheet. As they answer the questions, they're going to fill in the letters. There's a spot for 18 questions. You'll have access to this for free if you want to use it for those 5 songs. Oh, the 5 songs I used are Old Town Road, Let It Go, Eye of the Tiger, Me, and High Hopes. So if you want this, you can use it. You just need to come up with those 18 review questions over whatever content you're currently studying and make it so that the answers match these songs. So once the kids figure out what their song is, they get to play it. That's super fun. But a nice extension is, if you really want to challenge them, have them now create their own review questions that have their own mystery song. So they have to figure out how to play their song and come up with review questions where the answers will match the notes on that song. And then they can help quiz other people. So as I was playing over here, there are tons of online websites that have free keyboards. There's a free keyboard app on the iPad. So if you have the kids in breakout rooms on Zoom working on this, they can be using a virtual keyboard. You can even be using iPads at school. Some other options, if you're not one-to-one with devices and you're in person, you could cut and laminate little keyboards, finger keyboards, so that kids can be playing it and maybe one person has the iPad and they're sounding out the actual notes. Another way to ramp it up and make it fun, if you're in person, if you can get one of those stomp piano pads. I have one from Amazon. That's a nice COVID safe way to have a kid stomp out the song with their feet. But you don't have to get that. Another option is I got a big white tarp and cut it up and made little stomp piano pads out of the tarp with black duct tape. And even though they don't make any sound, it was just another way to get some of our kids moving and practicing stomping it out, learning about the notes on the piano. So there's a little extra cross-curricular learning there. So that's the mystery song activity. It's just a fun way to spice up any review you may have. Now, the second way I can't not mention, because my favorite way to bring music into the classroom is to change the words to a song that the kids love and use that to introduce or review some content. If there's any good thing to come out of this year, I know I've become so much more grateful for things I used to take for granted, and using music is definitely one of those. So in person, we're not able to sing because of the spreading of germs, but we can still dance. And the same goes for virtual, because the sound, like syncing up singing over Zoom, is a little wacky, but you can still dance. And so I have the kids teach them, come up with movements and teach each other. And then when we do one of our songs now, we go, it's time to dance. They clap twice, they stand up, we do our song. And I really feel, because of the whole TikTok craze right now, they're even more into the dancing. I had one kid who was a little hesitant to participate in the beginning with the dancing, and he was like, I don't dance. And another kid said, what, you can do the renegade, you do these TikTok dances all the time. He was like, oh, he was like, yeah, and he stood up and started dancing. So I say take advantage of that TikTok momentum, get them dancing so we can still enjoy music even if it looks different this year. I have a bunch of songs at Teaching on Tables if you want to put one of those MP3s into a Google Slide, if that's helpful. Whatever you do, I hope you'll be moving and grooving this week, and happy Rocker School.